Welcome to the Realty Plus Masterclass webinar presented by Havells today. And the topic for today's webinar is Smart Homes Are the New Normal. So this is what we are going to discuss, with the pandemic going on, how homeowners' priorities are for tech-enabled homes and what is the right way to do it. For that, we have some eminent
Once it
speakers.
is live now on.
We are not live yet?
Yes, we are live.
So we are, as I was mentioning, we are going to talk about the smart homes and the new normal, how our homes are going to change in this new normal. Before we go on to introducing the speakers of today and to the discussion, let me just give a small brief on what Realty Plus is all about. Realty Plus belongs to the Exchange for Media and Business World Group, and we have been part of this real estate industry for more than 16 years now with our monthly magazine, which is the Realty Plus magazine, which covers all aspects of real estate, building and construction sector. We also have a yearly publication, which is the Realty Plus Coffee Table Books, collector's edition on different topics every year, such as the top luxury projects, top affordable housing projects, top building material brand of India, and our forthcoming coffee table book, which is a very special book. In fact, it is the Realty Plus Super CXOs, where we are featuring all these real estate CXOs of the segment and their winning strategies. In fact, the pictures that you see, they are already part of this coffee table book, and we are looking forward to many more who will be featuring in this unique coffee table book. Another very unique product publishing that we have is the Realty Plus Tech Titans. It is with JLL as the knowledge partner, and here we will be enlisting technology solution companies from Fortune 500 to startups and the real estate organizations who have been proactively adopting latest technologies, whom we will be calling the Tech Titans. So another very interesting product from Realty Plus. Apart from the publishing product, we have Realty Plus Conclave and Excellence Awards events that we conduct across 6 cities of the country. But as you know, this is the time when everything is happening virtually. We have taken this event on the virtual platform, a very unique platform, where we do these conclaves and awards ceremonies. We recently concluded for the Gujarat region, and our upcoming Realty Plus Conclave and Excellence Awards will be for the West region. So another very unique event that we are looking forward to. As I mentioned, this is the time when everyone is trying to connect virtually. So a few months back, we launched Realty Plus Digital Connect under the umbrella. We have various products such as the Realty Plus Masterclass webinar, the one that we have today, where we bring in experts, the speakers on various topics, and we discuss that particular topic. We also have Realty Plus Real Talk video interview series, where we have one-on-one interaction with the experts from various segments, and we try to know their honest views and opinions. We also have e-newsletter, which goes out to the entire database every morning with the latest news of the industry, the sector, and also the views and opinions. Our magazine, Realty Plus magazine, is also available digitally, and the e-edition is there on our website. We are also very active on social media, all platforms. This is the way we try to stay connected with our industry peers, our readers, and our partners. So this was a small brief of what our products are, what we are doing, what we are coming up with. If you would like to have more details about these products, do get in touch with our publisher and business head, Triptikedia. The details are right there. But let's go to today's session, which is Havells Presents Realty Plus Masterclass webinar on Smart Homes Are the New Normal. We will begin with the keynote address from one of the iconic architects of India, none other than architect Premnath, founder Premnath and Associates. And in fact, in his 50 years and more journey in professional capacity in this segment, there have been many firsts to his names, which is very obvious. He has such an illustrious professional career, from first revolving restaurant of India to first multiplex mall in the country, first fast track IT building that he constructed in India. In fact, he is also one of the very few designers in the country to have received the American Society of Interior Designer certification. So a very prominent personality that we have with us today, Architect Premnath. We look forward to hearing your thoughts. Please, if we can have your address now.
Thank you, Sapna. Thank you very much. Good morning, team Realty Plus, and good morning, my fellow panelists, honorable, respectable panelists. Good morning, delegates. It's an honor to be here talking to you today in terms of smart home and new norm. Particularly in today's picture scenario, it is a very evident subject, relevant subject. So I've been designing homes for last 50 years, more than 50 years. And sometimes we do smart homes, old time. We were doing some smart home in terms of, used to call somebody, put some special lighting, some lighting effect, or some switching system, or maybe some demo thing like that. When we had old filament lamps and we didn't have much technology, our job was quite difficult and quite tough over there. And the smart home was basically more like at that time a little gimmick and little kind of mood kind of setting over there. We have come a long way today, and technology has changed, and needs have become different, and people have become more smarter, and the expectation become quite different over there. And relevant now to talk about the subject where we have experts beside me available. We're talking to you in detail in terms of various kind of options available. I'll give you a brief overview about how the smart home means and how does it look like. Generally, what kind of people expect smart home clients, but people particularly. Smart home got many more kind of programs. We old times, I told you, used to do only little lighting here and there and set a mood. That was good enough to do smart homes. And they may sometimes make some trick about the bedroom, make some kind of more lighting. Today, things have changed. We have shifted from landline to mobile to smartphones. That's kind of progress we've made it. We have made progress about new generation become smarter. They are much more smarter than elder people over there. At a very young age, they're quite familiar, they're computer savvy, and they're kind of tech savvy, basically we call them. With that generation and expectation become different now. We have moved from kind of traditional thing, locking system to kind of digital kind of locks over here. And we have multiple controls. We can, we're at home, we can turn our TV remotely, we can put dim lighting over there, we can put blind, we can put set temperature. These are the few kind of gimmicks which we do at home. They're more like conveniences also. Smart home basically have become complete, kind of sure the outdoor, indoor lighting, your setting control, your temperature, your timing, and energy efficiency, and many more kind of purpose over there. Today, smart home requires many more things. To begin with, smart lighting, definitely. We have smart appliances, which are energy efficiency. We can connect with your kind of controls. We have smart security system, which will go through your kind of CCTV or kind of connectivity with the network, basically. Smart air conditioning control, heating, HVAC, and small general control connectivity. Fire safety is very important, and smart automation. That we have automated everything completely, set timing on that over there, and they function with a remote control in your hand. That's the kind of thing which we don't normally we have it. There are a few parameters which go into making home smarter. With information connectivity happening, ICT, we call communication technology thing happening, developed in a quite large way. We have India has come a long way, our world has come a long way, particularly in a new way of life. We are having smart appliances, which makes very important how to make your home smart. We have television, which gives you different kind of mood, lighting, sound effects over there. We have washing machine, we have refrigerators, we have controllers, we can many things which are pre-fitted, and then they have kind of apps available in them, built in that over there. So you can at the hand, you control your temperature, control your kind of lighting, control your mood, control your kind of sound, control what. That way you can do many things. These appliances help you a lot to achieve what a smart home need to be there. Today we have a control which are possibly just kind of like in your fingers. You don't need anything else over there. Your hand finger itself probably can act as a kind of controllers, kind of switching system. And we have a Wi-Fi which become part of our life over there. Every home is pre-fitted. You kind of like your let me get you get your television come to your home, so you can get your Wi-Fi. It helps you to do control your lighting, control your sound, control your computer, control your security, control your cameras. So that is the main one of the tool basically which helps you to build your home smarter. And you control your kind of lighting through your various apps, even from remotely without distance, without switching, going close by to it. It's coming almost part a whole activity. It comes to your screen, like your television screen, what you see movie, what you see news on that, acts as your panel control. That's the kind of comfort what we have it today in smart homes. So smart home means we have smart living rooms, you may have smart kitchens, you have smart kind of bathrooms, where you have a kind of television, you have a PC, you have music, you have music in the shower, and you have set the mood, what all you want to possibly have it there. And you have a control. Your home in a building has a connectivity connected to the building basically. Very important, the building connected, the whole building system has got connectivity. And the building are connected with the number of buildings, and that can become connectivity from your smart home to become smart building to intelligent building, and goes further on to smart city level, where your home can be controlled, can be monitored, can be checked from a intelligent building IBM system over there. We call it smart grid. That means I can sitting at your in the control room, one can check out if your home got some fire, some short circuit, or some theft or something else happening over there. That's the way integration required to be done. That's how the smart home going to, in time to come, will be. Most of smart home will be integrated with the central system like police, hospital, medical thing, facilities, emergencies, like disaster management. That'll be part of your life basically time to the smart home will be smart because of that. You can have various moods for the home, inside, outside. You can have lighting, which gives you play good effect to your home, make it look interesting and dramatic, and makes your kind of places more romantic. And you can have possibly like, including today's time, a wireless control. It's called wireless light. It gives you NM250 temperature. It gives you light. What we use in hospital, what we use in pharmaceutical companies as a wireless kind of control. This helps you to keep your room virus free. Plus makes a mood also there. You will have a mood lights in your kind of lounges, things like that, and maintain your home virus friendly also. But we all that over there, home should become energy guzzler. It should be sustainable, and it should be energy efficiency. Like home over here, people use over a solar panel, which gives you alternate source of energy and give you efficient power energy sufficiency. Here is a house. Give you example in the woods, countryside. This solar panel gives you lighting also over there. It makes the light more sustainable. Here is the one over there, fly. These are called fireflies. There's a resort which has got a solar panel fitted in that, and it gives you light at night time. That's very interesting. Now, how you got a smart way of living smart homes? Today, technology moved a lot. You can do it yourself. Today, Alexa and Amazon are offering you do-it-yourself kits, and many more the other small companies in India also give you small ready-made kits over there, which give you smart switch, smart light, smart speakers, smart kind of camera, and smart controls, and built-in panels on that, where you can possibly do in retrofitting, small way, make your moods in a small way, possibly in a home, add a lighting system over there, possibly add some mood light in one of the pod, kind of sleeping pod over here, like this over here, and now again, today's time, particularly after Corona, we're all working from home. So we have to have a home office. Now our home office to be smarter. It have to be well connected. It have to be have got adequate kind of resources, communication, and connectivity, plus also some bit of entertainment. So workplace becomes a kind of part of your home now. And this is how some of the homes have been fitted, where you have your workplace, plus you also have recreation entertainment, and you got efficiency and you can work on that very comfortably. Here is the one which was really your whole kind of TV become like your complete panel control. You have multiple kind of channels. You can possibly see it over there and you comfortably work without strain, no strain in your eyes. Here the one other room, like work from home, a smart kind of including a working place plus added gaming and that over there. Why not? Entertainment is part of your life also there. How possible is one of the examples of the panels and possibly no end to that. I can keep on going it. Sure, by experts, other experts will possibly throw some light as to what is going to happen in terms of technology, what is future technology going to come over there, and in terms of kind of real estate, construction, how the developers, builders are going to possibly bring in some kind of built-in, pre-fitted connectivity rather than everybody juggling around here and there. This will be need of the hour, and this need to be possibly considered and debated and possibly understood as to how the future will take shape when we call it the new norm. The new norm will be discovered as to every home will be required to be made smarter, semi-smarter, and functional and efficient. Thank you very much, and I can pass on to my other kind of speakers. My compliments to you again for organizing this show. I look forward to discussing further, having debate and argue on various points. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Architect Premnath, for setting the tone, the context, and the theme for the discussion that we will have. And you, as you rightly mentioned, smart homes is not only about technologies, but also using fewer resources and using our natural resources very smartly. So we will now move on to the discussion. Let me introduce our speakers of the day. And Architect Premnath, I would request you also to please stay with us and join the discussion. Uh, so, introducing the speakers of the day today. First of all, let me introduce our moderator of the session. Moderating this discussion will be architect Bobby Mukherjee, founder and principal Bobby Mukherjee and Associates, which was established in 1993. And architect Mukherjee has a rich international exposure, because of which he brings vision, planning, and uniqueness to all the projects that he undertakes. He brings quality and style at par with international standards across all his projects that he has done and is doing in more than 20 years of his industry experience. He has always kept himself abreast with global trends and has set new benchmarks. And rightly so, we have Mr. Mukherjee chairing this session today. Thanks, Architect Mukherjee, for being here with us today. I now introduce our speakers in alphabetical order. Our first speaker is Hari Easwaran. He is the Vice President and Head Contracts and Procurement at L&T Realty. And in fact, he has been overseeing 30 million square feet of residential and equal amount of commercial projects at L&T Realty. And his academic credentials include INSEAD, which is transforming L&T, the company, into a global corporation now, leadership program from IIM Bangalore, project management workshop from IIM Ahmedabad, and postgraduate diploma in foreign trade management from Institute of Export Management, Kolkata. So a completely versatile set of qualifications Hari is bringing to this discussion. Thanks, Mr. Easwaran, for being part of this discussion. It's a pleasure to have you here. Our next panel speaker is an eminent lighting consultant who believes that he is a student his entire life. And in fact, he believes in applying innovative but contextual, creative yet practical approach to lighting design. Let me welcome on the panel Mr. Linus Lopez, who's the partner, Lirio Lopez Electrical Lighting Design Consultants firm. And his working in India and learning from all over the world has resulted in unique solutions which he's bringing, combining technologies with cost-effective practicality. And in fact, that's one of the important points, the cost-effective practicality that we will be discussing in this session today. Thanks, Mr. Lopez, for being here with us and joining this session. Our next eminent panelist is Praveen Thampi. He's the creative director for the lighting design and consultancy firm, the Ministry of Light. It has offices in Hong Kong, Mumbai, and Dubai, and is today one of the largest architectural lighting design firms in Asia Pacific. Praveen is member of Indian Society of Lighting Engineers and is one of the few lighting consultants worldwide who specializes in innovative and sustainable office lighting techniques. So Praveen, a very warm welcome to you today, and we look forward to hearing your views on this topic. Our next eminent panelist is Mr. Sarvdeep Basur, Principal, Lucent Worldwide, and in fact, his work speaks for him. He has been associated with some of the landmark buildings across the world and in India, from Sydney Opera House to the Kunming Convention Center, which is the largest convention center in the world, the Golden Temple Amritsar, the Brideshwara Temple, and the Pink City Illumination Jaipur. And in fact, for the Shenzhen City Illumination and Beautification, Mr. Basur was awarded at the European Parliament. Mr. Basur, it's pleasure to have you here. Mr. Basur's firm, Lucent Worldwide, has offices in India, China, Qatar, and Germany. And in his 3 decades of experience, he has completed more than 5,000 projects. So we look forward to some international examples from him, from which India can take away in its own context. Our final speaker is Mr. Vivek Yadav, Senior Vice President, Havells India Limited. He has over 31 years of experience in electrical and automation and has worked in all domains from residential, commercial, industrial, and infrastructure. So he brings all across experience to this session. He has experience in go-to-market strategies, both in B2B and B2C, and is currently heading Havells domestic circuit protection, electric wiring accessories, and home automation business. So Mr. Yadav will be representing the industry, the Indian industry perspective on this session. Thanks, Mr. Yadav, for being part of this session. I now hand it over to the moderator of our session, Architect Bobby Mukherjee. Please take over and have the conversation going on.
Yeah, thanks. Hi, guys. With the present situation, all this time we were all quite optimistic that that there would be a vaccine soon, and that things would go back to the earlier times. But as time's going by, we realized that perhaps our optimism was wrong, and this way of life might continue for a very long time. And it's also known that there are several viruses, for which even till now, after decades, there's no vaccine. So we don't know. So the way things are going, if this is turning out to be more and more the new normal, and we'll have to perhaps live either the rest of our lives or for at least a few years till they figure this out, to live this way. More and more, there's a decent part of the population that seems to have adapted quite well, and they made sense also of working from home. They are more at their homes than being outdoors now. And if you look at a large part of the corporate world, banking world, IT sector, most of them are working from homes permanently now. Their outings are just for weekend shopping for groceries or things like that. So in that perspective, your own house becomes extremely important. Your own habitat becomes extremely important. Now, from a small compact one to a large luxurious villa, everyone's adapting to this. So my first question to Hari, from L&T, since he's right down in the field doing all sorts of real estate projects that affects, and many of them is for the common man. Hari, what exactly is going on in the real estate sector with L&T, and in your new projects? Have you adapted? Is this new normal already percolating into your projects in terms of design and execution?
Yeah, Bobby, thanks. So it's great to be in this August panel here. And I think after Mr. Premnath has said everything, there is little for us to say excepting to kind of structure whatever he said. And I think, the best of minds are ahead of their times. In L&D, coming closer to your question, is that we meet the entire value chain. We do small compact, we do high-end luxury. And let me take kind of structure what Premnath said. So if we're looking at this word smart, and we'll talk about Corona also, as you said, that is that the new normal or is smart the new normal? So Corona means work from home and healthcare. So we touch this band in the entire bandwidth. We'll get to that. But if we're looking at in terms of smart, we've come 360 in two ways. In the 80s, when the computerization started, the so-called people who were not literate with computers went out of the game. We've come full circle now. We come 360 because those now with facial recognition, you no longer need to know computers. You just got to get recognized and talk. Secondly, if you see, the entire smart world starts with, security. We're looking at security. This is to structure what Premnath said. Security is what? Gas, fire, which is safety. Then you have security, which is video door phones, cameras. Then you have convenience and entertainment. Convenience and entertainment, you get the Alexa, Amazon Echo, Google Assistants there. Entertainment, you have, all that you have on dish. And finally, after that, you come back to what is now we have seen during Corona times, which is, assisted living. So we actually come 360 in the entire smart space. Now to give you a little bit of statistics, because we also need to work on stats. If you look at stats, the smart business is going to be close to about 5 billion by 2023-24. 85% of smart people who enable smart is in the metropolis, the 7 to 8 of them. So to give you an idea of the numbers, this is where it is. But what we believe in is to get smart across the entire value chain. So what we need to do together is to, at every touch point where we can touch, if you look at security and safety, when a child is born, all that it needs is security and safety. Then again, when it ages, you come back to security, safety, and healthcare. So these are the fundamentals that we need to give these people at that end. In between, we're looking at conveniences, entertainment. Now to come to the space in terms of how it is regulated. With RERA, GST, and lots of regulation, what has happened is everything has become normal with all the developers. We have to declare upfront what we're going to provide. So you have got to deliver on time or you pay penalties. You have got to give all the specs that you spoke of or you get penalized for it. So we are looking at what is a differentiator in the space. So looking at this differentiator, as I said, whether it is safety, security, entertainment, convenience, or again, assisted living. When I talk of assisted living, just before that, we have what is called as energy conservation, which he said. You're looking at net zero buildings. So in energy conservation, what you're trying to do is that you get smart elements into the game, looking at an OPEX and CAPEX model and see how it can become efficient. So there we do, heat recovery wheels, radiant cooling, etc. in the space. So this primarily is the entire value chain. So I would, request that this discussion can lead to addressing all parts of these touch points in this value chain. Those are my initial thoughts.
Linus, since you're a lighting designer and have several projects going on in India, what is your take on this in terms of how your expertise has come of good use towards this new normal and how people are adapting to these new smart technologies since they're spending more time in home? Normally they might not have looked at these technologies. So, what all have you been doing to add value to these projects?
Thanks, Bobby, and good morning, everybody. I think one of our key roles as designers in an ecosystem that is sort of building solutions, it's important for us to be asking the right questions. There was a mentor of mine a long time ago who said that we have been training people to have the right answers, but today you should actually be trained to ask the right questions. So I would, as a designer, look more at smart. This term smart can be used in a lot of different ways. But from the design perspective, I would say smart is about asking the right questions, because it is need based. When the needs change, you cannot be designing to old needs in your new buildings, right? You cannot be designing for a different set of people for one particular typology and then using that design for another set of people with a different typology. So it's about making sure that you know the mind of your user, you know the mind of your client and his end user. So very often when we talk about, we've discussed this sort of genesis of design from the point of view of architecture and its the built environment. But we need to look at it in a little more detail just to understand that, we've sort of been through that industrial era where productivity was, primary focus, right? So spaces were built around making it the most productive. And there wasn't too much of a focus on energy or people, right? And then we gradually transitioned to understand the value of energy. What is this cost of production? And then the answers were responses to how do we control energy? And you had standards that came in and sort of set energy limits to how you design, keeping in mind a certain energy profile. Today, we are in an era where we have the information, we have the data, but we are looking more at people, the wealth, the resource that people bring to the space. So the question today is more about health and well-being. What is our response to questions that are being raised by users that are occupying the space? Because they should be at the forefront of our design focus. So, and when we look at it specifically from an Indian context, because I've always believed that India is like literally many countries within one country, many demographies represented across either cities or smaller towns and villages. So you have this large range of people, all of them with different aspirations, different expectations, and different needs. So the first thing I think that we need to address, whether it's the smart city or whether it's a smart home, is who are we really designing for? What is it that they really need to make their lives not just most productive, not just most energy efficient, but happier environments? Because if you design to make it happier, you will automatically get better productivity. If you design the space to be used well, you will automatically get energy efficiency, right? So I think I would like to just sort of approach it from a designer standpoint to say, are we building the flexibility in our design to ensure that each of these individuals, each of them are the final users? What is their need and how flexible are we making our designs to accommodate those needs in these various segments?
So Linus, so what kind of changes are you doing in your designs to suit this present situation? What is the Indian clientele looking for?
So we have sort of over the last 30 years of practice, we had designed, for example, 15 years ago, we did the first platinum rated multi-dwelling residential unit, right? Because 15 years ago, the emphasis was on energy, right? Today, your response is how do you make the people that occupy that space happier? So I will look at this from the various building typologies that are available, your office spaces, your entertainment and hospitality spaces. But today's focus for this particular panel discussion is, I think, the home. Okay, so we need to sort of focus in on that. And in this current scenario, what we are looking at is who are the people that are in the space, what is their economic reasons for making their spaces more productive, more efficient, and happier, right? So you could look at this from the point of view of single dwelling units, where the needs are different depending on the classical Indian family across 3 generations. How do you design the space to be equally usable, equally user friendly for the elderly person in the house, but yet gadget enabled for the youngest person in the house? How do you make it usable for the person that comes in to maintain and work in the house? And how do you make it easy for the client to use integrated services, not just silos of thinking anymore, not just light for the sake of light, not just technology for the sake of technology, but sort of integrating this into a composite whole. This could be in the form of an automation package, but it could also be just sensible design, right? So for example, if I had to use a sensor to switch off or switch on lights, right, that is technology. But if I had to look at the approach to a multi-dwelling unit, that first entrance experience to a tower where you have multiple occupants, do I want to make sure that that first entry experience is a dim, dark interior? And then only when I step into that space, then the lights come on? I think not, right? So from a design standpoint, we need to see what is the technology that is available and how are we enabling it to make those spaces more conducive to a happier environment. So you would design to make sure that that entrance experience is bright, is inviting, and then maybe you control lights for areas that are used and then unused. So staircases, lobbies, you use your sensors there to control which lights are coming on, how to maintain your energy efficiency. I think the second important thing to also look at is integration of services. So it's today a typical home is sort of a consolidation of lighting, sound both for entertainment as well as for work. How do you make it acoustically? How do you treat the space to make it acoustically conducive to conducting both a meeting as well as a party? How do you integrate temperature? In India, HVAC is our single largest load for any building typology, right? So how do you integrate the HVAC services, the air conditioning services as part of your system? How do you get security? Today we are living in a stage where we need the security, but we also need to be looking after the health both of our visitor as well as a security guard. So are we saying that we still want to encourage a system where you have entry into a book, you use a pen that somebody else has used, you write on a book that somebody else has used, or do you actually use automation intelligently to eliminate that process of contact, but still give the right information to the right people and make it easier to use? These are technologies that we are sort of encouraging.
Okay. Praveen, you are a highly eminent lighting designer working out of India and abroad as well. Um, I remember having a discussion with you some time ago, and you had some pretty unique lighting ideas that people seem to be incorporating in their new smart homes, especially since they're spending so many long hours within the house. They lose the sense of time, place, time of the day. And how through technology have you been able to bring this into their lives, by which you bring about a sense of well-being into their lives within their homes?
Okay, so let me give a broader perspective. I think Premnath, you also give a larger perspective of what a smart home is all about, and certain aspects of it is, of course, lighting. I'll just look at how or what are the aspects of lighting that's playing a key role in a smart home or in a home in itself. Normally, I would say there are fundamentally 3 basic ways of what lighting would play a role in a home. One, of course, is functionality and safety and security. Second, energy efficiency. And the third aspect would be creating the right mood and ambience and aesthetics and stuff like that. So this is fundamentally what lighting played a role on. Now with COVID coming in and work from home and stuff like that, we could possibly look at 2 more aspects of it. One, of course, is the physiological aspects, which is the well-being of people inside a residential space, because earlier we used to spend most of our day hours in the office space, which today we are spending at home. So the physiological aspects become more important now. And then, of course, lighting being used as a disinfectant, what Premnath also said. So these are kind of the broad 5 perspectives of how lighting plays a role in a smart home. Now, yes, to your question on the well-being part, yes, we all know about circadian lighting and how light affects the way, light affects the circadian system of our body. So depending on how the color temperature of the sun varies from morning to evening, that's how, the human brain kind of understands what time of the day it is, and accordingly secretes various secretions of the brain. Now, sitting inside a home, now everybody need not have ample amount of daylight coming into their home environments. So what happens is, like in Europe, where when there is dearth of sunlight, you have seasonally affective disorders. So these are slowly creeping into our lives now, with lack of daylight, because we're spending most of our time inside the residential space during this COVID times. So what is important is how we can replicate the sunlight and bring that into the home atmosphere. So where we have a tunable white LED lighting system, what it can do is kind of replicate the sunlight. So you vary the color temperature from 2000 to 8000 Kelvin. Depending on how the color temperature of the sun varies. This will then enhance your well-being, keep your circadian system synchronized. There's a suprachiasmatic nucleus inside your brain that keeps track of this. And that kind of keeps the person in sync and more humane.
Is this affordable technology?
So yes, it's very much affordable as of now. We even have retrofit solutions for these now. I think companies like Philips have already started giving retrofit solutions to these. But if it's a large-scale, well-designed smart home with a lot of technology built in, then you can have a natural circadian software. But there are standalone retrofit luminaires available today, which you can directly plug and play, and it will just keep replicating what's happening inside your home.
When you do not understand the circadian system, and when people do not adapt to that, or they do not use this technology, or the fact that it's creeping into our lives, it might create havoc with the health in the long run. What kind of problems in terms of health do you foresee with that needs to be probably enlightened to the rest of the population within our country?
So there are a lot of seasonally affective disorders, what you call. Basically, it can affect your mood. You can go into depression. You can have issues like, your sleep-wake pattern being complete. So you become zombies at one point of time.
Yes, I can see that happening with various people already. I've been hearing this complaint that they're always in a completely buzzed state of mind,
Exactly. So that's one of the areas where now, especially with the COVID scenario, this kind of a circadian lighting system inside a home environment becomes more and more important, because like I said, it can completely play around with your the daily well-being. It's not even like the long-term effects. Long-term can lead to a lot of things like cancer and stuff like that, because it is secretions of the brain that actually control certain killing of the cancer cells and stuff like that. And if those do not happen correctly, effectively, it can lead to even cancer.
Wow. So I think a lot of awareness needs to be made about. The first time I heard about the circadian lighting system was from you, in one of our earlier webinars that we did. It was quite enlightening, and I realized that me being in this profession, I did not know the value of how important something like this. I think more and more people need to make the population aware of this for their well-being. And if there are simple solutions available, I think the masses should adapt to it ASAP.
Yeah, in fact, we started with circadian lighting for office spaces because that is where people were doing 12 to 14 hours in a daytime, and there were also people working in night shifts and stuff like that. So predominantly, this was a concept which was coming in for office spaces, but today with the COVID scenario, now it's become something for the home spaces.
Right. Yeah,
So,
it's an extraordinary situation that we are in right now.
yes. And like I said, a smart home, the idea is to have the right light at the right spaces, like what Linus also said. You can have sensors which will turn on the lights in the toilets, for example, when you walk in. And you can have smart adaptability of being able to control out the light remotely and stuff like that. That's one aspect of it. Of course, the other aspect is aesthetics and creating the right kind of mood. So depending on the kind of occasion, you can have different kinds of mood set inside a residential space. I think Sarvdeep has some good insights on how artificial intelligence is going to play a role in how the mood can be set and stuff like that. And of course, UVC, now it's a proven fact that you can have ultraviolet lights to kill viruses. So in today's scenario, it is important that at least you have one space, locked out in your house where you can use it as a disinfectant. For example, like I get stuff from the supermarket. I usually don't touch it for the next 2 days. I leave it in a space where it gets kind of disinfected. Now, what you can do with, if you have that space with ultraviolet lights, what can happen is you can actually kill those viruses much quicker, So leave it there for 20 minutes and everything gets disinfected, and then you can go about taking them and storing them in your fridge or whatever.
Wow. Sarvdeep, you have immense international exposure, and with such massive projects that you've been doing, one aspect we'd like to hear about is what's going on in the home front. And the second is, how is all this also affecting your large projects, your large commercial spaces, whether it's a mall or it's a theater, and how is technology getting into making life better for the end users? But if you could start with the home front first, and then go into describing your large-scale projects.
Right. Thank you for this chance, Reality Plus, and thank you, Bobby, for asking this question to me. For me, I start with the necessities. Automation we say that imagination is the limit for automation in homes. You can do anything. I'll share an example where we are working on a very small thing, and it's really very attractive, and it's almost a necessity. We are looking after house plants when people are not at home. So people go away for 3 or 4 days, and they don't know who's going to water them and whether those plants would get enough light or not. So there's a project where we're working where the plants are in a designated area. That could be the balcony or indoors, and they're provided with these little watering nozzles, and the homeowner can actually switch on the watering nozzles remotely from wherever he is in the world. So that is one place where automation really helps. It's a necessity. You have to look after your plants, and you can't allow anybody to come in and water your plants. So that's something which we're doing. This can also be clubbed with grow lights, lights which keep the plants healthy. So you could dedicate grow lights and switch them on at will from a remote location. So this is this is a residential project, a very large residential project in the Far East, where we're doing this. And we, in the same environment, we're expecting more than 50% of the population to be senior or very senior citizens. And in those homes, we are creating an algorithm where a senior citizen, if he's living alone in the house and he's not doing his normal tasks for 3 or 4 hours, which he's supposed to do in the morning, then the automation system starts asking questions. And if he doesn't respond to those questions, the messages start going out that something may not be too good. So that's again a necessity, and it keeps. I mean, it gives you a lot of peace of mind if one's parents are living alone. So that is something which one needs to innovate, and we would like to work with the builders to ask the right questions, as Linus says, and then create customized solutions. Both these solutions are, I think, very useful. So there are many such cases in home environments where we do, dedicated solutions like plants or looking after old people. Now, going to your second question, Bobby. Now there's a lot of scope for builders to involve artificial intelligence to enhance their, sales potential, add features into a commercial space. And people respond very well to them. So when they go to a mall, it's all about shopping and eating. So the purpose is to make people happy in that environment so that they spend more and eat more, or eat at good places, or eat expensively. So there's a lot of activity happening on that front in malls, where we take an input of the people who walked in, what kind of population which is there at the moment. If it's a matinee time, there are lots of ladies there, and we take the input from the daily news, the weather, whole sorts of other things if it's a festival, and the lighting and the audio adjusts accordingly. So it senses real time the population inside the shopping space, and then adjusts accordingly and motivates people to, to go out and spend money. So that is something post-COVID, but it's a very real thing, and playing on the minds of people. So there's a whole lot of AI happening there. Similarly, AI in homes is the next new thing. People who stay alone can actually find a companion in their home. The home becomes the companion, and it creates a two-way communication. So it responds like we said. I give you the example where we're creating this space for senior people, where it actually looks after the people. And so it could be programmed to speak to you. It could sense what kind of mood you are in. It could sense how you are talking on the phone, and then respond to you like that. So there's an experiment which Google's doing in their Google Home project, where the Google device senses your mood and then actually starts talking to you to enhance your mood. So this is something which is going to happen. It's in the very near future. Probably next year we will be seeing these kind of activities where things, the home is sensing you and then responding accordingly. So that is what we see the future as. Thank you.
Vivek, now you had a large company, Havells has been making a whole lot of, it's been in the news for making a whole lot of new innovative smart products. Now, we are talking about all this technology and smart homes, a lot of automation and stuff, but in all the projects that where we have implemented such ideas, we realize that it comes with a huge cost. It's not really affordable to a common man. But I do hear that more and more access to this technology is becoming more and more easier and affordable through times. Now, all this is great, if common man, in living in smaller apartments, whether it's in the city or in 2-tier or 3-tier cities or in rural areas, have access to this technology. Tell us something about, on this topic, as well as what are the new products that you have been coming up, for the Indian market that's going to be affordable to all of us.
Right. Thanks, Bobby. I would say a very interesting and pertinent question when we are talking about smart home. And generally, when smart home as a terminology, whenever it is spoken, largely people associate with wealthy people, people who are rich, who can afford technology, who can afford to get into high-tech stuff and gadgets, etc. But as we see how this market has transformed over the years, the ticket size for a smart home, or anything that you want to make smart inside a home, that ticket size is slowly getting smaller and smaller. And obviously, technology is supporting that. Technology is becoming common, simple to use. There are plug-and-play devices which are helping drive the cost down, and also at the same time helping users and homeowners to convert from conventional to smart. So in Havells portfolio also, we are looking at how we can address each and every customer's need, immediate need, or maybe a latent need also. Somebody who doesn't know whether he can turn his home smart in the same budget that he's thinking about. So we are looking at all that. So we have solutions where we can give it to a new construction, which are wired systems. We have solutions where existing homes, existing homeowners, whenever they are going in for renovation, of course they can do it. Even if it's a normal running house, without breaking any wall, without breaking any existing wall plates, switches. You can convert those homes also into smart homes, which can respond to the user's need. So we have these solutions. Then we have standalone products, which the cost come down to, for a single unit, let's say a smart socket, about 1,500-1,600 rupees. So with that smart socket, you can make all the dumb devices like a geyser and AC or appliances in the kitchen also smart. When I say smart, means they can be remotely controlled. They can be scheduled to operate at specific timings. You can monitor energy. Energy monitoring is also inbuilt in them. So there are a number of such smaller devices that we are trying to build. Be it a camera on your door, in the eye hole. You fix up a small camera which will give alerts. As soon as somebody comes in, a recognized person, it can open the door. If the person is not recognized, gives you an alarm on your mobile. You can see who's there. You want to let him in, he can come inside. So all this I'm saying is, looking at how the user needs are changing. Particularly, I'll come in context on what's happening today in homes and in the current context of the pandemic. People are using more and more of their home spaces. People who are working, husband, wife working, children going to school. So the house was empty. Now I think with less of working in office, husband, wife both are using home as their office. Children are using home as their classrooms. So the homes are becoming very, very different today. And in that context, also, their needs are changing. So there is demand for, to make their life easier. both children and husband, wife, and also the older generation staying at home. So we are seeing, a lot of these demands coming in for products which are, simple to use, easy to install, and, quick fix. They can give them a lot of convenience. So we are looking at all that and building our portfolio. Specifically coming to your question on the cost part, as I said that, the journey of, creating smart spaces at home, which used to be in lakhs and lakhs earlier, today it's come down to a few thousands. Okay. So, people whose budget is very small, let's say less than a lakh of rupee, and they want to automate their living room, their bedroom. For them, there are plethora of choices available today. So as a company, Havells as a company has, all those solutions built in. Over the last 3-4 years, we have created, a suite of products where, we can make consumers' life simple. And also Havells is uniquely positioned. It's not just, controllers for light or fan, etc., that we, have in our portfolio, which we can help, designers build homes for their clients. We also have, appliances which are intelligent. We have lighting which is intelligent, both for consumer and professional. We have UVC lighting for, killing the viruses. The circadian lighting that, Praveen talked about, those solutions also have been existing in our portfolio for some time. And we've been giving those solutions for commercial offices, but even for homes also, standalone units and connected units are available, which can be created. And the best part, what we are doing today is that, all these appliances, gadgets, lighting, controllers, they all come into one common platform, a single app which a user can install on their mobile, and they can be controlled at single place. So that's the big advantage. Today, I think people who have built up their homes, over a period of time, they realize sometimes that, they have, one app for one device, another for another device, and then multiple remotes inside the house. So we have solution which you can integrate all this and bring on to one device, and also another device, which can do with all the remotes in the house, and but just by installing those small IR blasters, about 1,500 2,000 rupees cost. Those also you can, all the remotes can go away, and with your mobile, single mobile, or everyone in the house, whoever is using smartphone, can control the entire house from a single point. So this is how we look at this market, and really working with the specifiers, architects, consultants to convert homeowners' need from dumb homes to creating smart homes.
So Vivek, as an architect, I many times I face this problem. The real estate developers, they're a little skeptical. Like even Hari would probably vouch for that. That when we like to put in all this stuff, we are also worried about the workability, whether it's after sales service. It should not be, because once a developer puts it in, he is answerable when something gets busted and doesn't work. Then they will be gunning for the developers. As it is, they have a bad reputation. They say that ये देखो हम लोगों को क्या किया, हम लोगों को फूल किया, सब लगा के सेल्स टाइम में अच्छा चीज दिखाया और अभी काम नहीं कर रहा है. So how do you, is that an issue? Is your solution technology foolproof, by which we don't require you to come back again to do some after sales service to make it work again? Will it work smoothly for the next 10 years without any glitches?
So I'll answer this in two parts. One is on the technology side. Now technology has become very simple. Okay, there are a lot of advancement both in the software architecture and electronics. So it's not very difficult to manufacture. So things are getting manufactured in the country today. Earlier, everything was getting imported. So availability, technological support, all that was a big challenge. So it's become easier from that point of view. Second is, how does an organization support this? So I would say that there are a lot of small operators in the market today. A lot of startups who have come up, but they don't have the infrastructure to support customers and clients, big builders, or even all the architects who are proposing such solutions. So those apprehensions which were there in the mind earlier, I think they should go away now. But you need to be in the right hands. For a company like Havells, huge service network. We are present in almost more than 650 districts of the country, where our direct presence is there, service network presence is there. So we are training all these people who are our own, people who go and service them. So that's the confidence that we can give it to our client, that after sales service will not be a challenge. And second is
are there situations where it's required at all, like after sales service, where you've done all this integrated systems and then something gets busted after a few months or a couple of years?
Yeah, so there were challenges in the past, and largely it was because of our supply situation in our country. Okay, there are voltage surges. Whatever we may do, we are still quite far behind as far as quality of power quality is there in our country. So what we do is we specially get all the modules and upgrade the surge protection in them, and we test them at high level of surges as compared to what is there, let's say, in the Western world or in the other countries, where the power quality is far better and they don't need to bother that. So our surge protection levels are almost double of what it is proposed in those countries. So from that perspective, those complaints have totally gone away, and that's the maximum problem that in electronics.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are absolutely gone away, and we don't face those challenges. We have introduced a lot of products in the last 3-4 years, which are tailor-made for the Indian conditions, and we don't face those problems today.
What's the quantum of purchasing going on, in these kind of products, firstly in the cities, in middle class homes, as well as in the rural and 2 and 3 tier cities? Are there a lot of buyers who are going for this, or still there's an awareness to creep into their environment?
Right. I would say that demand is picking up slowly. If you look at size of this market, 5 years back we used to talk about let's say about 300-400 crores in terms of total size of the market, and we used to look at only wired solution. Since the time these standalone products have come in, even and IoT has been inbuilt in the devices, this market is growing very fast. So you have online spaces where we see that people coming from far off places buying. So that is the supply chain has made it possible for the products to reach those places. Wired solution are largely restricted to big metros and smaller metros. But smaller standalone solutions, we are finding that it is going to even small 2-tier, 3-tier towns as well. So that way we are seeing that growth in this market is very good, and we see that this market will grow at least 25 to 30% CAGR in the next 3 to 4 years, and we see a lot of conversion happening from people who don't need smart spaces, but still when you talk to them they get converted fast. And this pandemic is definitely helping, because it is forcing people to think about how to create spaces where there are very less touch points, touchless spaces, touchless controls, and that awareness is also helping this transition faster.
Okay, Premji, I think you recently did up your home, right? Premji, we can't hear.
Yes.
Okay. The gossip says that you got a new cool home. You've redone your home. Is that true?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you do any of all this in your renovated home?
Sure. So we reconstructed a house over there for the family. We are lucky to have a joint family home. We have 4 children, like 4 families stay together, and the age group is grandchildren from age of 10 to 25, and they all have different expectations. as surprisingly that young generation, younger children are more smarter, and they are very well kind of aware of that, and the demands are quite surprisingly very high tech. And they were asking me question, Nanu, we call it some Dadu, someone, are you putting this thing, are you putting that thing? So I had to do everything over there. I had to do all connectivity, I had to broadband, I had to put gas collection, I had to put kind of television channels over there, and Wi-Fi all kind of whole home, and televisions and kind of what are we required, plus tool, gadgets, cameras, CCTV, security, lighting control, all that, very well, wonderful. What happens all this? This becomes my forte, only I can run it. I can't take advantage of this. For example, I don't have connectivity security with the city. I don't have connectivity to security with the fire department. I don't have connectivity, kind of wherever you need disaster can happen. So I'm just left alone. Only I have to manage myself from my home gate outside, to within my home. This is the kind of situation we have it, but smart home need to be more than that. More than that, for example, now. One of my daughters, she's very finicky. She doesn't like to have what you call is a Wi-Fi running at night time because of radiation. So what do? Smartness gone. You've come to basics. So when you get over there, you'll have to put Wi-Fi on. And we want to do things that way over there. But that is also an option available that way. We have to have the kind of choices on that over there. So it is okay. We have a smart kind of gadget, smart home, but still we have a limited kind of way of using over there. Are we enjoying it? Of course, the smart features that you had incorporated in that over there. That's the kind of future. This will be. Let me tell you, what I've done is nothing new. This has been done generally, kind of the building in the kind of the Western countries, the European countries. This is part of their life. We don't do over here. What I'm doing in a new building, what we're doing now, in one of the apartment building, we are providing all these things fitted as part of the facility given by, a selling point given by the builder, by the real estate person. That being the building connected, smartly connected throughout. The building will have central command centers, building security system, building will have medical center, medical can help over there today's time. Building will have an emergency kind of a team available there. So that's the building run like a small mini city. And the facility is put in that over there. Once you have a larger gated community, then possibly could afford to have a larger setup, like we have medical facilities, emergency facilities, garbage management. All these things are required part of like water supply, water quality, water saving, energy efficiency, many all things put together. So very much depends on the real estate. People need to be a little more kind of proactive on that. So they're talking about that we are one of the largest kind of real estate from Lucent to LST. I'm sure in time to come, realize that all the new building will be requiring smart features to be incorporated in that and integrated. And again, gradually, number of buildings put together get interconnected. They may mini smart city or maybe smart neighborhood. That kind of future I see. Out of that, smart home will be a very small thing. We need to have a kind of smart community, smart development, overall thing. I'm doing township over there. It's more than around kind of 50 acres, more than 5,000 homes, 7,000 homes over there. We are doing everything possible for them. And the kind of thing it's a kind of corporate thing, basically private kind of corporate house, kind of township over there, where we have zero discharge, including garbage management, garbage process management over there, water supply, drainage, sewage, water harvesting, all smart features which are required normally as part of the facilities, So they enjoy the life because it brings us also efficiency in terms of energy also. Main thing is that. Brings efficiency beside entertainment education to people there, and connectivity and safety, security, identification. So many things that help directly, indirectly to the corporate company, what happened, how to look after employees, and anything happening over there. They're working very well. This should happen in private kind of developments also. And gradually it's possible to happen. It will take some time. It's the beginning. I suppose the future demand for that, particularly now having gone through this when working from home, so it becomes necessity that you can afford it now. Like whatever cost will come to offices, that cost can be brought to the home, and home can become smarter and well equipped. I look forward to it.
Bobby, I need to come in here for sure.
Yeah, Hari, I wanted to ask you.
I have to come in.
Okay, no, but Hari, the question is for you.
Any number.
Now, you know, I was going to have this, whatever Premji mentioned, I had this question for you as well. Same, you know, like I deal with so many real estate developers, all some of the most prominent ones, but no one is willing to take the plunge. You know, everyone needs it. You know, the question answer survey also shows that like everyone wants it, but no one is willing to take the plunge in going, you know, all the way. So Hari, like, you know, having such a, you know, mammoth company with so much respect and goodwill in the Indian market, are you willing to take this plunge and make a model, you know, building with everything in place and not worry about, you know, all the other consequences like
Yes.
RERA and
Yeah.
after sales service and all that? Would you do that?
Yeah, very good question, Bobby. I'll answer it. You also made a point in initially saying that, you know, some builders promise, but they don't deliver. Deta nahi. So I'm sure you are not referring to L&T there. One.
No.
Yeah, because we give more than we promise. Secondly, I'm happy that Sarvdeep actually took this discussion beyond smart homes. He took it to malls and commercial spaces. Now, if we're talking of commercial spaces, that's a different dimension altogether. So I would like to invite, we started our journey about 5 years back. I'll just touch on all these points. If you invited sometime in December, January to Powai, where we've done our business tower, and it's got almost everything and much more than what you all have been talking about in the smart space. It's a commercial tower. Now, commercial tower, I have an option of either retaining it, holding it for myself, or selling it to customers who are, you know, aware and wary of this. It's got everything that we're talking about, including in the US. We had to get it here. We spoke of, you know, electrical up and down. US, you can plug in your, like, tariff also is charged to at different times. So at night time, the tariff is least. So your fridge actually runs only at night, and by day it is switched off. So IoT has moved into this zone in such a way that it not only troubleshoots, but it also gives you system diagnostics. Now, if you look at commercial, we do smart parking, we do destination control, we do air quality management, we do everything. Our meeting rooms, we don't have to, you know, go and find out whether it's open. Cafeteria, the menus on your mobile. Now coming to smart homes, which is a subject of our discussion. As I said initially, it is safety, security. Okay, safety, security are fundamentally, you can't not give it to anyone. If you're looking at conveniences and entertainment, then you have to give it to those people who can pay for it. After all, we are in this market in which more than 50% of the developers have gone out of business. We are not worried of RERA is damn good, GST is damn good. We are compliant. But the fact of the matter is when we sell, we are selling in a common pool. So awareness is required after COVID. The awareness is huge in terms of, you know, we need smart places. Look at homes. We are working from home. So they need it to be smart enabled, which I spoke of in the beginning. So finally, as far as safety, security is concerned and assisted living is concerned, we're trying to do everything in the space. And when we do it, we promise we deliver more than what we promise. As far as entertainment and convenience is concerned, it is need-based. So if I'm doing a one-bedroom house for a different section, it's need-based. So we give it if it is required. Of course, they have to pay for it. Nothing comes for free. There are no free lunches. And we are in the space competing with everyone. And you will see the quality of our product compared to the market. It's all, you all have said it yourself. So we are completely aware of this whole chain. As I said, coming back to my discussion earlier, who needs what? Now we look at smart cities. These 100 small cities, smart cities have been targeted across the country, not in the metropolis. Now what do you go and give them? They are tier 2, tier 3 people. Are you going to look at conveniences and entertainment for them? They don't have a connection. So you address safety, security, and give them the fiber, give them a Wi-Fi. Everybody's got a mobile. Give them that fundamentally. So it is horses for courses. We meet the entire bandwidth. It's horses for courses. My request is that all of you have to make everybody aware. Havells is now, I think, come in late. There are companies which have come in 2-3 years back also. And we have used products. So we are in the space. We understand. So it is money makes the mare go. It's very simple. We are a listed company. All the money that comes in goes. So people have to pay for it. We assure you the best quality. What is requested of this audience is that we have wide reaching ability. So awareness has to come in. And it is necessity first, convenience and entertainment later.
Anyone else would like to throw some more light on our subject?
Yeah, Bobby, the discussion you were asking about, whether there is maintenance required for most of these smart home devices. I would broadly put it in two aspects. One is like if you have simple plug-and-play solutions, they don't really require much of a maintenance. Most of them are quite robust. Easily, they can sustain 8 to 10 years without any kind of maintenance. But if you have a fully integrated system, so if you have a real smart home with all of what is required, including the future aspirating artificial intelligence, then of course there is going to be a lot of maintenance required. I mean, I have not really seen a really large home which has been done by a system integrator, which is running on its own without the help of the system integrator. Every 2 months, you will be calling those guys.
Exactly. Like I saw, we did a large home in Delhi, and we realized that ultimately there was so much technology that he had to employ an in-house engineer to run his house on a daily basis.
My point.
He could afford it, but it's a...
Yeah, I mean, but that's why we generally, when we design also, we look at mostly plug-and-play solutions and smart solutions, which are really required. And even for a simple example, doing stuff from your mobile phone. There will be a lot of times when there'll be network issues, there'll be Wi-Fi issues. And end of the day, I've seen so many homeowners who are like trying to show off, oh, I've done this system. And they try and switch on the mobile phone and things are not working. And then the next thing he does is calls the system integrator,
Mr.
So,
Basur wants to make a point here, I will.
Yeah. So I'll make a point here, particularly the homes that Bobby and Praveen are talking about. Those are, large homes which are, made through a wired-based system. Wired-based system definitely can have technology issues. And it, of course, requires a lot of, software integration, installation from experts. So that's why a system integrator is needed. And I said over a period of time, wireless devices and IoT devices have, based on their availability and cost, those proliferation is, widespread now. Those are making things, much easier. For example, a Wi-Fi based device, the earlier technology was, each device will talk to a, router. And, there are dead spots in the house where there's no Wi-Fi connectivity. So you will definitely have all the challenges there. Sometimes gizzers are installed in a corner. And if you want to, have a Wi-Fi based gizzer, or you want to control it even through a smart plug, you will have difficulty if the Wi-Fi is not there. But today it's a mesh based, technology available where the signal is multiplied. So why I'm saying all this is that, today it's much easier to choose a technology because there is choice available, and you can even large homes with mix of wired and wireless together, you can create homes where such problems are can be eliminated. So it's of course those challenges are much lesser now, I would say that. And also I would say that availability of technicians who can manage this. A simple electrician who can manage this also is helping the cause of a faster resolution to problem of installation and after sales both.
Good to know. Mr. Basur, you wanted to say something?
Yeah.
I wanted to add to what Praveen was saying, that, and Bobby also mentioned the same. The least paid person in the whole house building establishment is the electrical contractor. So, and that is the reason they are not so skilled. In fact, we all need to make an effort so that these people are trained properly and that they are compensated for the effort which they make. We work with a lot of system integrators, but the system integrators are by and large dependent upon the electrical contractor to do the wiring properly. And those guys in India are, the way they're paid, they are not the level which they should be. And hence the problems. We work on international projects. We've done homes of 40, 50,000 square feet internationally, and fully automated homes with wired solutions doing everything. The failure rate or the bugs are much less, much less.
Sarvdeep, I agree, but the issue is primarily not to do with the installation itself, or it's more to do with the user at many times. When things become more complicated, the user sometimes, and sometimes I'm not saying they're failing. It would be a simple thing where there is a memory issue. It's like when you have a more complicated system, you have more complicated problems. That's all. So it cannot be a maintenance-free solution for 10 years. That's all I'm saying.
Praveen, you spoke about complicated problems. One of our viewers is asking, what about hacking and privacy invasion and malfunction? How do we secure
this is
that?
the other aspect. So when you have especially a Wi-Fi based device, now it becomes very complicated to first get all your systems in place. Now, once you have everything in place and everything is working fine, tomorrow if you have a hack, that becomes a bigger issue. And that is where then system integrators start talking about security and safety. And then they build in a lot of firewalls and stuff like that, which makes things even more complicated. And I'll give a simple example. I once had a young kid from UK who was working in my office. He happened to be my IT guy. Now, he was also a, ethical hacker. Now, the way he built in systems in my office, I have a simple Wi-Fi based solution. I don't even have like a server system. Everybody is on Wi-Fi on a laptop and stuff like that. The moment this guy comes in, he puts in so much of firewalls and protocols in the office. If I have to print, I cannot print without his help. There are so many passwords required, this and that, just to do a simple print. Now the issue with that, the reason why he built in all of those is because he is a hacker, he has other hacker friends who are trying to hack him. Which means that he's basically built in a system in my office. I said, see, we are not a bank, we are not a financial institute. Why do we need all this? And that's when I realized that, hackers hack other hackers to, get the
but that
fun out
remains
of it. And
one challenge, because you are prone to hacking then,
correct. So when you have a full-fledged integrated system, especially when it is a Wi-Fi based system, it is prone to hacking. And the more technology you have, there are cases where you might get hacked, and it can lead to a lot
is one of the major
privacy. Yes, especially if you have IP cameras, it's extremely prone to being hacked. I use a Google Nest camera in all my facilities. I presume that they are safe, and but I know of a situation where once it was hacked, and this was when it was originally a Nest product, in which later was bought over by Google, and during the transition phase it was hacked. And I don't know what is the amount of data, and all of this gets stored on the cloud. So tomorrow, even if it is not live hacking, tomorrow somebody can just access the cloud, and all of that data can get hacked. So yeah, the more you get into technology, definitely security concerns will be there. But then I think the way Google and the rest of Apple and everybody is working at it, I think we are all being hacked every day, every moment. So that's life.
Another interesting question we have is, what about homes in semi-urban areas, maybe not necessarily in metros? So how are we looking at making them smart at an affordable rate. Mr. Lopez, any thoughts on that? How do we do that for them?
I think the answer lies in the discussions that we've already had, which is a sort of scalable modular system. And we would look at first, investigating different technologies that are available, but then deciding on the basis of these questions that are being asked, what is the ticket size that you're finally looking at selling? What is the aspirational value? These two things have to be balanced on any particular project. We have seen a lot of multi-dwelling units, in B and C cities, where the builder sort of takes care of both segments. There is a requirement for the separate standalone villa with all the bells and whistles, but there is also this multi-dwelling, multi-storied, lower ticket cost items as well that are available for sale. So when a manufacturer has that flexibility of a product offering, both in terms of cost, in what you want to do with it, in terms of the functionality that has just been discussed, these are very usable solutions in these developments as well. The key question, as everybody has just currently discussed, is the maintainability. Especially, you can look at it from a city center point of view where you have the infrastructure to support it. But the moment you go far away from the city centers, you need to, as part of your design exercise, you need to look at the sustainability of that system. Is it something that can be easily maintained? Is it prone to failure? What is the likelihood of things that go wrong? And try and see whether you do a cost benefit to see whether that actually aids the system or is not aiding the system.
And I think that is where the manufacturers come in. In fact, another question is about third-party integration. Okay, if someone is using one company products and then wants to add another product from some other manufacturer, that many a times doesn't happen. So how do third-party integration, scalability, how that can be addressed, that challenge? Mr. Yadav.
Yeah, so in wired system, all third-party product integration is very much possible, and almost all wired systems, they have how to integrate an air conditioner, a VRV based air conditioner in their system. So that is possible. But let's say you have wireless systems. How do you communicate with an AC or a TV or geyser or such appliances inside the house? How do you communicate with them, even if they are let's say intelligent? So that becomes a bit of a challenge because those protocols are not open. Then we as manufacturer have to work with those suppliers to get their software codes and APIs and integrate in our software so that we can talk. So that becomes a bit of a challenge. But I think as technology is moving, that also is going to be feasible in a very short period of time. But simple technologies are still available. I spoke about simple IR blaster. So with that, any third-party item can be easily possible to communicate with your app on which that IR blaster sits, and you can talk to them. But in a wired system, yes, unless your software architecture can talk to that third party electronics and software, then it is definitely a challenge. But I think most of the solutions available today, they can talk to third party solutions, so it's not a big issue as of now.
Okay, that's nice. One last question, although we have a lot of questions, but because of time, one last question I'll ask from Bobby, architect Premnath, and Hari. They are asked how much a smart home percentage increase in the budget for a smart home over as the other said, a dumb home. So what would be the percentage increase in the budget, and what would be the ROI, in terms of efficiencies that you'll get in electricity, water management, etc. So what could be the ROI as designers and architects? What is your estimate? Architect Premnath.
Since a smart home today is not a very difficult kind of technology, we have fortunately moved to quite advanced.
So how would the budget increase?
I'll come to that. Fortunately, we have come to a kind of stage where a lot of things are availability in terms of electronics and in terms of kind of equipment and pieces over there. I told you it has come also to the level of do it yourself. My granddaughter had done it herself. She came to home. She ordered things from Amazon and made her one of her room smart gadget and smart lighting. Just to test it, she hardly about 15 girl, school going girl. I'm telling you that if you want to talk about smart again, depending how much smart do you want in your home. You need basic needs over there. Assume that you want even good enough over there. Cost you hardly about 5 to 10% of the cost of electrical kind of cost.
Okay.
In a home, it will cost you hardly negligible. Normally about 10% of the cost of electrical in your home. 10% of that become 1% of your hardly 1 to 2% of your. If you think of the buying price of the property is negligible. The cost of construction price hardly about 5%. The cost of buying property is negligible. I should say that hardly about 1.5%. 10 to TB you protect now. Simply become cost of more money than this.
Correct. What were your thoughts on that?
In our projects, which are essentially luxury homes, large homes, I like to put aside 15% of the cost of doing up the space. What I have realized through time is that it's this technology that makes luxurious living. It's all hidden behind the scenes. It's not that you really see all that, but it just makes living so much comfortable. Right now, prices are coming down, by the year. But initially, when we did stuff, we realized that around 10 to 15% was going into this technology.
Okay.
And in
What about
terms,
you?
and in terms of return on investment and stuff, when it comes to luxurious homes, I did not see a great thing because automatically now, earlier lighting used to be halogen lighting and stuff. So right now, so everything's changed to LED. So that's by default. It's not because of smart automation systems that has reduced and when it comes to air conditioning and stuff like that, which is the biggest consumer anyway, you cannot reduce it in a big way through all this technology. So essentially, it's only in lighting bills, where there can be reduction, but that's a small fraction of your power bills.
Now, Bobby, even HVAC, there can be huge reductions. I mean,
for homes,
for homes, yeah. I mean, like I run AC probably 24 hours at my place, but I have put in a sensor which actually works. So it usually just works on with the compressor doesn't turn on during when there is no occupancy, and it only turns on when there is occupancy.
Okay.
So HVAC definitely makes a big difference. And in terms of the overall cost, I would say a simple plug-and-play solution, which people are looking at for a 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroom apartment. I think between 30 to 50,000 rupees, you can make your home smart with basic equipment. But then it all depends on aspirations. Like you said, if you're doing a luxury home, it can go somewhere between 1 crore to 2 crores. It can even be the cost of your apartment, what you spend on system integration. There is no limit to it. So,
but it's these expenses. It's these expenses which even if you can afford it, it goes a really long way in making life really cool in that house.
True, absolutely true.
So quality of life gets better.
Yeah, I would rather use this than buy some expensive Italian marble and put on the floor, but have put a simpler marble, but use that money sensibly, judiciously on technology. It's a simple thing like on a Sunday morning, you or lazily want to wake up and you don't want to get up and open the curtains and allow in all the light. You just want a little crack in that in the curtain to open up, to bring in a little soft light coming in. You just press one button, it slightly opens up. Now a small thing like that, enjoying a Sunday lazy morning, technology allows you that. Earlier you would have to get up from your bed, the process of getting up only wakes you up, then you don't know how much to open. So when technology comes, this was one of the things that I really enjoyed in my own space, things like this. And there's so many other such ideas now in the market.
Yeah, so Bobby, in the work from home, what's happening is nobody is exercising. So you better get up and open that curtain. Secondly, we have to answer that question a little more pointedly. I think Praveen had a good point. So if you want to do, entertainment and conveniences in some part of security. It's about 50 to 80,000 to about 2 lakhs on existing houses.
Okay.
Larger part of what I want to draw the attention of this audience to is that what Praveen said. So if you're going to do energy efficiency, which is very much possible at the big ticket thing here, then we're looking at actually a capex and an opex. But our space is yet not ready to understand in 3 to 5 years what is going to be the saving on the additional capital cost that is going to incur. So we are actually encouraging people to come up with that, and very soon we'll move in that space. Now, when people come and negotiate for our houses, limiting the discussion to homes, I would like Bobby to be present there. With his 15% expenditure on all this, he has to sit there and I think he'll help us negotiate better. So every rupee that they want to give you, they want value for it. They want to know what it is. Finally, what we need to do is, what we give them must work. So the answer is there. It's a mixed answer.
So, but Hari, you'll be happy to know, we did a survey and we asked, do they expect developers now to offer automation as standard amenity? And 89%, almost 90%, they said, yes, they would like to have automation as a standard amenity in their buildings.
Sapna, we do these surveys every 3 months. So we're giving all of that, don't worry.
So sentiment is there. The only thing is now we have to find out how to capitalize on that. And yes, work from home. Again, our viewers have said that 78% they feel that because of work from home, they are inclined towards tech-enabled homes. But health and wellness, the hygiene factor is the bigger concern, which they are saying it is going to stay, and they would like to have touchless operations, for minimal contact points. So almost 85% said that yes, health and wellness that they are expecting to have in their homes and in their building complexes. Here we have spoken about homes, but we also need to discuss about the residential complexes, elevators, touchless elevators, entrance lobbies, how we can have them, as hygienic as possible. But then yes, that's a discussion for another day. Thanks everyone for being here with us, you sharing your valuable inputs. Let me bring in Mr. Sumant Bhatia, Head for Home Automation, Havells India now. And he has been listening to the entire discussion. So he would like to give a note of thank to all our speakers and also share his views. What do you think, Mr. Bhatia, after listening to this entire discussion?
Thank you, Sapna. So it's been a very, very interesting and insightful discussion, and it is quite evident that the smart features in our homes in India have already, started to get adopted. And though it is still early days of adoption, but as an industry, I think this is on the anvil of explosion, and we foresee India becoming one of the biggest smart home markets in the coming days. Havells as an organization has been in the forefront of technology development in this space and has been investing very aggressively to build a world-class ecosystem. So I think one of the takeaways here is that, anybody investing in a smart home technology is also, so it's sort of getting into a marriage for a longer term with that organization. So it's very important to have an ecosystem around this rather than, buying one device from one company, another device from another company, and then, trying to figure out how to get, the integration piece done. So we are building a world-class ecosystem around the smart products in practically every category which is being used in homes, whether it is in offices and the new category of home offices as well. So be it switching, lighting, or, circadian lighting that was spoken about during the session, and home appliances, smart home appliances. So which is not just on the cutting edge technology side of it, but we are also working on, making these very, very easy to adopt, very easy to use for practically all kind of homeowners and commercial offices across different value segments. So which is a for a company like Havells is a very, very important thing that we address practically all segments of the market, right from the value segment going up to the mass premium and the luxury segment. And we have solutions, spread across the entire spectrum there. So in the end, we would like to thank Mr. Premnath for sharing his vast experience and deep insights on the evolution of smart homes and giving us a very good sneak peek into the future of the things to, as things would evolve going forward. Mr. Bobby Mukherjee superbly moderating the session, making it very meaningful for the audience, and articulating the questions and steering this discussion to a meaningful end. Mr. Lopez, for your insights on the evolution of building design, which are relevant to today's times, extremely important and very, very insightful. Mr. Hari, for your thoughts on using smart technology for energy conservation and the overall scheme of things, the kind of experience that you bring from L&T, I think it's immense. Mr. Thampi, your views on the aspects of lighting being used in the home spaces, especially the circadian lighting part from the physiological well-being of people, I think is something which from an awareness standpoint needs to be built up. A lot of people, because adoption, only awareness is going to bring in the kind of adoption that we are looking for, though the system has, the solutions have been available for a while, but the adoption still remains low. Mr. Basur, for your insights on the use and adoption of AI in smart building solutions. That's again something very futuristic. I think AI again is something which we are all looking at, but working around the algorithms and building meaningful predictive artificial intelligence in a home environment also is something which a lot of designers are struggling around with. So thank you for bringing this up. And Mr. Yadav for his deep insights on the Havells solutions and the industry and the solutions which are being offered for the different value segments at different price points, and the kind of strides we are making as Havells in this industry. And in the end, a word of thanks to Sapna and Tripti and the entire team for having this very well organized and managed webinar. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much for.
Thanks, Sumant. I think you have said it all. I don't need to add anything to it. Yes, COVID has created a lot of awareness about technology. That's a given now. And thanks everyone for being here with us, sharing your time, valuable time with us, with our viewers. We will also be featuring this discussion in our magazine, and I will share it with you. And thanks again for being here, for sharing your valuable thoughts and taking out your time. Thanks everyone. Mr. Basur.
Pleasure.
Hari, Mr. Premnath, Mr. Mukherjee, Mr. Lopez, Yadav, and Praveen. Thanks, Mr. Bhatia, also for being here with us today. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.